So hello and welcome to the Scottish Sun's general election update. My name's Conor Matchett. I'm the political editor at the Scottish Sun, and here with me today is another very special guest. We have the Deputy First Minister of Scotland and high-profile figure of the SNP, Kate Forbes. Kate, how are you? Are you doing well? She's down the line today.
Very well. I think I'll be better in 10 minutes' time.
So if you watched our interview with Anna Sawa yesterday, Kate, you'll know what's in store. But for the people at home, we have a 10-minute rule. So we'll have a tight 10 minutes, quick fire questions for you, Kate. Any waffle or any non-answers, I'll be bashing this buzzer. I'll have to hold it up for you so you see when I do it. But people at home will hear what it is. So if you're ready, we'll get underway. So here we go. So Kate, first questions first. Who is going to be the better Prime Minister, Keir Starmer or Rishi Sunak?
Keir Starmer.
Fantastic. And who is your favourite MSP from another party?
Oh, Donald Cameron used to be my favourite. Can we have past tense? My present favourite is probably Daniel Johnson. I hope that's not destroyed his career.
I mean, that's potentially problematic. He's your direct opposite man, isn't he?
And you can actually have a conversation with him. Which
who can't you have a conversation with? Who can't you have a conversation with?
People that don't talk to me. So no, I mean, it's people that actually believe in Scotland and want to deliver for Scotland. And I've always found, even as finance secretary, you could have a conversation with them. You knew where your red lines were, and then you worked together on delivering the things that you agreed on.
Fantastic. So potentially talking about one of those that you can't have a conversation with, say something nice about Douglas Ross.
He's a multitasker.
Is that a reference to his 3 jobs?
Well, yes, and the fact he continued to do 3 jobs for the duration of his leadership.
Will he be, if he loses, you're obviously off, we're speaking just beforehand, if he loses his race in Aberdeenshire, North Murray East, which is where you're heading after this, he'll obviously stay in MSP rather than quitting and going to Westminster. Will you be happy to see him on the backbenches, or would you rather he be going down to the House of Commons?
Well, I think it's going to be quite difficult for him to continue to be in that party, which doesn't seem to be overly chuffed with how things have been handled in the last few weeks. So I think that's a decision for him, and I don't get to choose who's in the Scottish Parliament and who isn't.
Well, on that kind of similar topic, who do you think will be the next Scottish Tory leader?
Douglas Lumsden.
Okay, and are you scared of him? Are you worried about Douglas?
Absolutely not. I think that it'll be interesting to see the Tories fight it out amongst themselves, and it will determine the future of the Conservative Party. And I think, with reform polling as it is, and with the Tories scrambling for those votes, it's going to be a lurch to the right. The problem is if Labour then follows suit and heads slightly more in that direction, and then I think it creates a place for the SNP to be quite nicely the left of centre opposition.
Let's talk a little bit about tomorrow. How many MPs will the SNP have won come Friday morning?
Well, that's not a prediction I'm going to give you because I want it to be as high as possible. I know you'll dress it up, and it's a risk I'm willing to take on that question.
So do you think you'll breach 20? I mean, most people have you around 19, 20.
We will push hard for every vote. But remember, a lot of the seats are on a knife edge. And I know, in a first past the post system, even a few votes can make a difference. Who can forget Stephen Gethin's winning by 2 votes? So every vote counts. Okay,
who will be the next First Minister of Scotland?
John Swinney will continue to be the next First Minister of Scotland after 2026. And beyond that, it's up to him when he chooses to stay or to go.
So who's going to be after him?
I don't know the answer to that. I really don't know the answer to that. Well, not necessarily. I don't think I'm very comfortable right now being the deputy. I gave it a go last time, but I'm quite comfortable being deputy.
What's your highlight of the election campaign so far?
The highlight was decorating cupcakes. One campaign visit.
Where was that?
That was the day that they launched the SNP bus.
Okay. Did you have a particular favourite flavour of cupcake?
Oh, chocolate every time.
I've actually got a double chocolate muffin in my bag today as a treat. So there you go.
The real treat is the triple chocolate ones, you know, you max out with all the different types of chocolate.
That's a woman who knows her cupcakes. What do you think the biggest scandal to hit Scottish politics it has been since the SNP's majority in 2011?
Well, there have been a number of difficulties and a number of challenges, and I think that probably the first one to rock Scottish politics was in 2020 with the allegations around former First Minister.
Okay. And what do you think the biggest mistake you personally have made in politics has been?
Oh, some would argue it's being too honest. I refute that. And I think for me personally, it's not probably just being honest and clear, maybe earlier in my political career.
And what on the topic of honesty, you spoke to me in your leadership campaign last year. Same question. Would you still vote against gay marriage if it came up again in Holyrood?
Oh, I don't think you asked Anna Sarwar these difficult questions.
We asked him different difficult questions.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've answered those questions. I'm not going to go over them again. The point being that I uphold the law. I'm a servant of democracy and uphold the law as it stands right now.
All right, what is the one big reform Scotland needs apart from independence, and how do you deliver it?
Energy market. So at the moment, we have the injustice of producing a lot of energy and yet energy bills being sky high. That needs reformed.
And why haven't the SNP done that yet?
Because it's a reserved matter. And thankfully, that's an easy one to answer. It's every single list you look at, you can see energy in the reserved list.
Keir Starmer said he wants growth of 2.5% per year. You've talked a lot about economic growth being the driving force behind what you want to do, as well as eradicating child poverty. And what's your target for economic growth in Scotland?
To meet comparable European countries. So that has ranged from about 4% upwards, but that is going to take a long time to deliver. I'm not suggesting that we can do that anytime soon. I think that needs fundamental reform to our economy.
Okay. The SNP have had a tough year and a half. Whose fault is it?
Well, I think you have to own the challenges and be straight with the public when things have not gone as they should, and then change course. And I think that's what John Swinney is going to do.
That was a waffle. Who is it? Whose fault is it, Kate?
well, I think I said you've got to own your challenges. So the SNP's got to own its challenges.
How long is a generation?
A generation is, you know, as long as people live. A generation in the last 10 years has been full of a lot of change, has it not? We have seen promises about staying in the EU and being out of the EU.
Well, put a number on it, Kate.
A lot of change.
Put a number on it.
I'm not going to put a number on it. I mean, a generation comes and goes. I think there's 4 generations. There's 3 generations to my grandmother, who was born in 1907. And on the other side of the family, there's about 5 generations that go back to 1933. So
there we go. All right, this is slightly different. So what I'll ask you to do is I'll ask you yourself or another politician, and you have to tell me who the better politician is. The winner will stay on until we're through the list. That makes sense.
Got you.
Okay, so is it Kate Forbes or Douglas Ross?
Kate Forbes.
Okay, Kate Forbes or Anna Sarwar?
Ooh, Kate Forbes.
Kate Forbes or Alex Cole-Hamilton?
Kate Forbes.
Kate Forbes or Joanna Cherry?
Ooh, Kate Forbes, with a lot of respect for Joanna Cherry.
Kate Forbes or Keir Starmer?
Kate Forbes.
Kate Forbes or Rishi Sunak?
Kate Forbes.
Kate Forbes or Tony Blair?
Ooh, I mean, he actually won, but his track record is not great. So with great respect, again, I'm going to say Kate Forbes.
Kate Forbes or Gordon Brown?
Again, I'm going to say that the potential is greater than the past.
Okay.
Kate
So
Forbes.
Kate Forbes again. There you go. Okay, Kate Forbes or Humza Yousaf?
Kate Forbes.
Kate Forbes or Stephen Flynn?
Stephen Flynn.
Oh, okay. There we go. Stephen Flynn or Alex Salmond?
Stephen Flynn.
Stephen Flynn or Nicola Sturgeon?
Nicola Sturgeon.
Nicola Sturgeon or John Swinney?
John Swinney.
Oh, Oh, that's a controversial one, I think, in your circles, Kate, but there we go. We've not got long, so this is proper quick fire now. Last few questions. Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Scottish Sun or Daily Record?
Scottish Sun, because you've got the power right now.
Celtic or Rangers?
Ross County.
Good answer. Square or linked sausage?
Square.
Favorite Taylor Swift song?
Oh, where to start? We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together used to be a real banger. Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song? Is it that as well?
It would be a variety of Taylor Swift options, actually. That's a good place to start as any.
At home with a good book or out walking up a Monroe?
In my dreams, walking a Monroe. In reality,
That's 10 minutes. I'll let you finish your sentence.
At home, never reading a book, frantically running after a little hooligan.
And last question, which is the same question I asked yesterday. It'd be a long night on Thursday for everyone involved in politics. What's your go-to election night snack?
Boost chocolates.
Oh, strong option. Yeah. Do you have coffee or like anything?
Coffee, yes. I'm big into iced coffees at the moment.
Oh, despite the weather.
Despite the weather, it feels like summer, and it's a good. You can drink more coffee that way.
Fantastic. Well, Kate Forbes, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much at home for watching and listening. And we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thanks.